Up against the biggest fans, meet the Harry Potter police, who help make every book perfect. The new face of gossip, celebrity friend, celebrity foe. Why Perez Hilton has got the hottest website in Hollywood. And couch surfing, travel on a shoestring or a couch cushion. It might be a cheap new way to see the world, but would you want to sleep here?
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Washington, Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in New York City, this is Nightline, July 20th, 2007.
Good evening, I'm Terry Moran. From London to Lima tonight, people have been turning out in droves, lining up for blocks in heated anticipation of that magical moment. But it's not concert tickets going on sale or the arrival of the Pope that they're out for. This frenzy, this one's for a book, a Harry Potter book, of course. And though the madness and the midnight reading sessions aren't new, there is something special about this one. It's the last one. Nightline's John Donvan is at the Politics and Prose bookstore here in Washington, and he joins us now. John, it looks like quite a scene there.
It is, and good evening, good live Friday evening, Terry. And Politics and Prose is actually a small neighborhood bookstore. And if you see how crowded this is, you can imagine what it's like in the chain stores across the country. You said this was a magical moment. It's also a magical marketing moment, considering what's been pulled off over 7 years, making this book sell more than 300 series of books, sell more than 300 million copies. And what's interesting, in addition to the devotion of these fans, is the devotion a lot of them have to finding errors in the text. A lot of them are so well versed in what the story is that they're finding over the years small errors and writing letters to them, to the publishers about them. And who in the publishing house has the job of actually trying to catch these errors or weed them out? Well, meet a young woman named Cheryl Klein, copy editor and Potterologist.
Because
Cheryl Klein herself, she is a Harry Potter fan, in fact, a very big Harry Potter fan.
These are my glasses from the first Harry Potter release party I ever attended before I started working for Arthur Levine.
Back when you were a college student?
Back when I just graduated from college in the year 2000.
All right. I need to stress now that those are on your face that I've spent time with you and you are not nuts.
In fact, Klein holds one of the most important jobs there is in Potter world.
We call it continuity editing, and just in terms of trying to keep the continuity of J.K. Rowling's world together and making sure that everything is consistent and all the details are right.
Ah, the details. That's what Harry Potter fans live for, of course, and given that a lot of them read these books again and again and again.
We just want the book. We're just so ready for the book right now.
Well, it had to happen. They started spotting the little mistakes, the little missteps, which get collected, of course, on the internet.
But, you know, I almost feel like I want to hear kids reading these things rather than me.
And so, courtesy of some kids who belong to the Nightline family,
Page 12, paragraph 3.
Samples from the scores of mistakes readers claim to have found.
It says Harry stepped into the shadow of a large lilac tree and waited.
Dumbledore tells Harry that Lord Voldemort is Blasphemer's ancestor of Salazar. But it is Dumbledore's right ancestor of Salazar.
But lilacs grow on bushes, not trees.
And they're so enthusiastic, and I think that's, I mean, we get things like this, and of course we're like, oh shoot, we missed that, you know?
Yeah.
But it reflects so much genuine love for the books.
Which is why Klein takes these error-finding readers so seriously. Readers like then 10-year-old Chelsea, who wrote 6 years ago to ask, was I the first person to find the mistake on page 283, paragraph 4 in Harry Potter 2?
These are clearly fans of the book, and yet there seems to be a delight in finding a mistake. What's that about?
They feel like they're part of the world. You know, they feel like they've made their contribution to it in some way. If they can even just send us one little correction, something like that. And the letters we write back to the kids especially always say, good for you, you know, you caught something.
So it's not, damn it, you caught something.
Well, that's what we say secretly. But for the kids, you know, it's they're sharing that love, I think.
Well, she may say it's for the kids, But then there's the likes of Melissa Anelli, grown-up Harry Potter fan, webmaster of the website theleakycauldron.org, and cataloger of errors.
Oh, there's a character named Marcus Flint who was supposed to have graduated after the second book, and he's back in the third book playing Quidditch. And so somebody asked J.K. Rowling about it in a chat once, and she said, oh, he had to repeat a year. You know, so now all those little mistakes, the fans colloquially call them Flints.
Actually, Melissa Anelli and Cheryl Klein, they're friends now, bonded by the books. Listening to a band called Harry and the Potters, along with like-minded adult fans. Yes, Klein is one of them, and because part of her job is catching mistakes before they get into print, and by the way, she edits several other books at Scholastic, her knowledge of Harry Potter is literally encyclopedic.
So how does your brain kind of keep track of every little detail, every name, every place, every gesture, really?
Yeah, it's an internal cataloging system, I guess. and then, of course, we keep copious notes as well. So every time I see, like, the restriction for underage wizardry, if it appears later as the restriction for underage sorcery, then I remember, oh, that didn't quite jive. And of course, I've also read the books many times now. Yeah. And so I've gotten pretty familiar with all the terms in her world.
Klein's boss, Arthur Levine.
A great deal of it is internal. I mean, she has an incredible mind that way. She was like a quiz bowl champion in college, and she is very good at keeping it in her head, just as J.K. Rowling is incredibly good at keeping it in her head. But we absolutely have it all written down.
The other thing is that Klein reads the books months before the reading public gets to see them, which means she has long known the secret. How does it all turn out in the end? At one point, as she was flying from England to America, carrying the actual manuscript for Book 7 in her bag, assignment, get it to New York safe and unseen, the secret almost got out.
And I get to my gate, and they pull me aside for a random bag check. And I start thinking, oh no. And she opens up my bag, and she looks at the stack of paper, and she says, wow, you've got a big pile of paper here. And she sort of starts running her fingers through it. Mm-hmm. I think, I'm trying to come up with like some sort of lie I can say, like it's fan fiction or something like that.
It's always good to lie to a federal agent.
If she happens to recognize the names. Yeah. And she doesn't. And so I just said, yeah, a big pile of paper. And she goes, mm-hmm. And then she zipped me back up and passed the bag back to me. And
wow. She had a scoop and didn't know it.
Exactly.
But after tonight, the last secrets will all be told. J.K. Rowling has said, this is the end of the story of Harry Potter.
The Dark Lord ascending.
And now it's the last one.
And now it's the last one. It's going to be heartbreaking for a lot of people.
It all happens, Terry, in about 17 minutes. They're going to unveil under this green cloth. There's one on the other side of the door. Big stack of books. People walk out, they hand them out, they hand in vouchers. And as to that question, what's going to happen, I wanted to ask a genuine Harry Potter expert. What's your name, young man?
Ben.
Ben, you look very familiar to me.
Yes.
Yes, because you're my kid. But you really are an expert. What's the guessing? What's going to happen at the end?
Voldemort's going to die.
Voldemort is going to die. We'll find out in about 18 minutes. Terry, back to you.
The countdown continues. We'll check back in with John and his expert a little closer to H-out. Well, when we come back, we'll switch gears to the gossip master, the blogger who tamed